What is the dumbest thing people actually thought is real? That posting "I will not allow Facebook to sell my photos yada yada" on Facebook somehow makes their terms of service invalid. Don't forget tomorrow starts the new Facebook rule where they can use your photos. Don't forget deadline today. It can be used in court cases and litigation against you. Everything you've ever posted becomes public from today, even messages that have been deleted or the photos not allowed. It costs nothing for a simple copy and paste, better safe than sorry. Channel 13 News talked about the change in Facebook's privacy policy. I do not give Facebook or any entities associated with Facebook permission to use my pictures, information, messages or posts, both past and future. With this statement, I give notice to Facebook it is strictly forbidden to disclose, copy, distribute, or take any other action against me based on this profile and/or its contents. The content of this profile is private and confidential information. The violation of privacy can be punished by law, UC 1-308-1-1308-103 and the Rome Statute. Note: Facebook is now a public entity. All members must post a note like this. If you prefer, you can copy and paste this version. If you do not publish a statement at least once, it will be tacitly allowing the use of your photos, as well as the information contained in the profile status updates. Facebook does not have my permission to share photos or messages. I always like that last line. If Facebook can't share your photos, how is anyone else on Facebook going to see your photos? You're using Facebook to share them, so Facebook has to share them. I would laugh so hard if Facebook removed all content, except this message, from profiles with this on it. Facebook could have been the hero we needed. Those wristbands that give you energy. Almost as good as the wristbands that keep you balanced. I wanted to see what the scam was once in a mall where they were selling these. They first yank on your arm, throwing you off balance easily. Then they put on the bracelet and yank on your arm again, and you are magically steady as a rock. The impression is strong until you realize all that happened was that you were not caught off guard and were able to anticipate the force that was about to be applied and unconsciously braced for the yank. Moral of the story: always expect the yank. That MLMs are a small business and not a pyramid scheme where there's little to no chance of making not losing money. Everyone knows one. But with some intelligence, you expect it to stop at a certain age. I've watched friends from school go through this phase. Usually a stay-at-home mom who recently had kids and needs some easy income. But after mere weeks or months they just stop. They figure it out. But I swear, there's this one girl I know who is going strong for years. Her entire FB is just emoji-laden adverts for the product she's peddling. Usually it's weight loss miracles that give you tons of energy. Probably fat burners putting your body into a high blood pressure shock. But does she take a minute to expound on how it's much more healthy to diet and exercise to achieve similar results? Nah. Gotta drink this lightning powder. You just described my cousin to a T. Except she's a nurse and should know better. Being a nurse does not automatically make you a critical thinker. Had a nurse friend who told us that it wasn't possible to get herpes if you're on birth control. Can you guess who got herpes while being on birth control? I got a vasectomy. Now my herpes are permanently gone because I can't ever get pregnant now. I need to buy these iTunes gift cards in order to pay off the IRS. This one is especially sad because it preys heavily on the elderly. My grandma fell for this scam. I think it was Safeway gift cards or something. They said if she didn't take care of it right away they would have to send the police to her house, and she couldn't get a hold of me or my mother to ask, so she just went and did it. Was like $4,000 or something like that, was a few years ago now. Edit: it really is a bummer that people take advantage of elderly people. Thanks everyone for the kind words. She was pretty embarrassed for a while, which I felt awful about, but she's okay now. The rain follows the plow. In the 1800s American West this was everywhere. The idea was that agriculture would bring rain and make farming super easy. Supposedly, when grasslands were turned into cultivated fields, the soil would release moisture into the air. Then human activity like factories or trains would make vibrations that formed rain clouds. Eventually the idea expanded to straight up bombing the air with dynamite on kites. Gone shake dat water out that their sky, Mabel. A lot of people fall for the scams around a company selling you a device you plug into an outlet in your home and it reduces your electricity bill. You'd honestly be surprised how many people have paid money for these and even swear by them even though it's 100% snake oil and incredibly dumb to think it would do anything. We've had government initiatives for free energy-saving power boards, power strips. They work by you plugging the TV into the socket labeled TV, and it cuts the power to that socket after 4 hours. That's it. It saves energy by just turning your ducking TV off after a set amount of time. People hoarded the things thinking if they just plugged anything into them they'd save. They'd also avoid using the TV socket because they knew that one turns things off. If it's like the one I had for my computer, you had one main outlet and when that device is turned off, it turns off all the other outlets. It isn't going to save thousands, but for something like a computer, it can turn off speakers, printers, monitors and anything else related when the main computer is off. Why have those things running at all when the main device that uses them is also off? I plugged all my devices to my neighbor's outlet. My savings have never been so good. Neighbors hate this one simple trick. Marilyn Manson getting ribs removed so he could give himself blowies. Or that Marilyn Manson was Paul on the Wonder Years. Lolo man, forgot about that one. They were both hot rumors when I was a teenager. I strangely believed the rib thing more than the Wonder Years thing. Ha ha. JFK Jr. being alive is one of the more idiotic things I've seen recently. That's stupid, but some of them believe JFK is still alive. A man who would be over 100 years old and publicly got his head blown off. He's living in a retirement community in Texas, disguised as a black man, killing cowboy mummies with Elvis. Babies feel no pain and they believed that until the 1970s, so they would experiment on babies up until then because they didn't feel pain. Scary. A pediatric anesthesiologist once told me that anesthesia wasn't used on infants, pre-1980 or so, because there was a good chance of killing the kids with too much meds. Anesthesia as a field of study is really quite young. If you were doing surgery on an infant, you could go without anesthesia and hope they don't remember, or you could give it to them and risk killing them, or permanent brain injury. It was only a few decades prior that adults were in the same boat. Bite the stick and hope you pass out. I had major surgery immediately after being born, at a time that anesthesia likely wasn't being used on infants. I have no idea what intense pain I must have felt, but the surgery was the least of it. I was in the recovery room with 2 other infants, and we were largely kept away from our mothers. In order to teach us how to suckle, nurses would dip a pacifier into a jar of honey before putting it into our mouths. My mom says that the nurses dipped each of our pacifiers into the same jar, ultimately causing each of us to catch pneumonia. As if the surgery wasn't traumatic enough, the aftercare almost killed us. Ripping the tag off of the mattress. I accidentally ripped one while moving. The movers said I'd go to jail, so I hid in my room. I was about 5. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. After all these years. It's satisfying to see scum like this finally put away. I'm so glad they did away with the statute of limitations on this one. You can't run forever, Rippy. The BBC Spaghetti Tree hoax of April 1, 1957. That fake ad for Apple phones getting the capability to charge via microwaving. Bunch of people put their iPhones in their microwaves and fried them. There was also a waterproof app that had people drowning their phones. Wait till you hear about the Scale app. Pregnancy test app was my personal favorite. I thought it was illegal to keep the lights on in the car until I was like 14. My parents are liars, Lamau. We were leaving my mom's place and I had the lights on in the back for the kids, and my mom was like, "Isn't that illegal?" My mom only taught me that because she believed that too. Multi-generational lie. You sure you don't want to keep it going? Third punch and you get to start a new religion. The constant rumor that drug dealers will give them to kids for free. That sharing those posts on Facebook means they actually have a chance of winning a 5 luxury getaway. We have an extra $150K car laying around that we just need to get rid of. All you have to do is share this post. Our last winner was only 17. So he couldn't accept this Lamborghini.